Being the last team on stage is certainly not an easy task, but I have a distinct feeling that the multidisciplinary team, EGA from Sweden, France and Germany are up to the challenge, where we see Martin Renkano and Eric Judice presenting their ID. Ladies and gentlemen, do it sitting!
Down the light a little bit. We did something really black, so black. So thank you for inviting us, and Martin will take over now.
Cities that we like are actually places that have the chance to develop in time, that have old things, new things, things that we remember. Some halls where we know that maybe things could happen. So a place like that actually exists here in the middle of Gothenburg. It's the Ringön area in which we find all these qualities. Actually, all these qualities that also resemble the identity of the city. That is a city of doers, a city of production. It's not a city of hot air like other Swedish cities, maybe. So this creativity, this creative potential that we have here, out of the people, out of the improvisation of the people, do it yourself a little bit, is the quality of this place. How to implement, how to get these areas, these special qualities into grow without destroying its unique potentials and qualities. So we developed an idea, a concept that we call footprint. This concept is quite simple. Is to say, where there is a building, there should be a new building. That's the way cities normally develop. They don't need so much thinking. They pay us far too much for this workshop, I think. So it's just a shed that is substituted with some new buildings. Maybe on the ground floor, we still keep the same use of the building, so it's a storage, or it's a retail. On top it can be housing, or it can be something else. So in the end, you can see how it could develop from being just an industrial site in being turned into all different typologies also of housing. We don't know which way we want the city to be lived in. We don't know what people are going to want in 20 years. So in the end, it's offering a lot of possibilities. And when the flooding comes, it turns into a northern Venice. So the house, can you go back one, sorry? And so the idea in the end is that the first floor of these new developments would be floodable. They would contain places that can be cleaned. They would work a little bit like those places in Venice, maybe. It would be storage. It would be places maybe for bicycles that you can take up. You know days in advance when the flood is coming. So you have the chance to react. And instead of being an accident, you have actually a own and special quality. So people are going to come here for the carnival in February on Fristerraso. So here you can see how the city, how the structure, how the texture of the city get integrated. And we create two sides. There are two sides. It's great to have women and men. It's great to have differences. We don't need to integrate them to get all the same. Otherwise we look all like white mice. So one side is a traditional city with a structure that continues actually the traditional extension of the 19th century. On the other side, the dry city, the official city. On the other side, we have improvisation. We have a young city. We have something that develops. People come to visit it. Developing in time is the key idea of our idea. So here you can see how you don't need any kind of, you can start, actually not on Monday, you could start actually tomorrow or tonight actually. So you don't need any kind of great ideas or visions to develop all that. And so you just start, and it will develop, and you will see how it will develop through time, because the structures are there. You don't need to reinvent the structures. If you would try to plan these structures, you never would gain this grainy quality that this space actually already has. Before, already very beautiful, actually fascinating. A lot of someone told us in a presentation that you see every 40 seconds something. It was you? Yeah. So here there are a lot of things that you can see, and it's really interesting to look at. And so instead of getting rid of that and doing these hygienic developments, we just contribute and add some new quality. So we still have the shed, we still have the factory, the workshop, But we add housing, we add new ways of living, working and living and enjoying nature in one side. That's, I think, what this area already provides. It doesn't need much to be continued. This is before, and that would be after. So some buildings could be redone, some others could have an extension on top, some others can be completely new. And the space in between could be the space that is not clearly defined, what makes us of these areas so interesting. We don't have the perfect sidewalk, the street, we don't have all these divisions that we would have in a traditional city. So in the end, we develop really a new typology of living, and then when the water comes, this area transforms into something new. So, and this is how it would look for maybe the 500th birthday of the city or the 1000th birthday of the city. I don't know how old you want to be. A million a year. So in the end, you can see how this grainy structure, how the traditional structure in the south would create a more official situation, and the north a more driving situation, and the river it's dividing, and it's a cool division instead of a separation. So okay, here you see how it's then Little Venice with the islands.
So there is already a lot of events, a lot of things taking place around this water. And there are a lot of places that are really interesting. You see them in color. And we want to add to that, to really create this space around the river with its activities. We feel that this space is maybe the key issue in this project. We have this small scale that we've been speaking about. There is also the larger scale, the event scale, what sound is that? We think that is it. You like it? We found it on the internet. But it can also be this. All these activities around this Frihamnen, which is the free port, which is already a place where things happen today. It could be much more things happening there. Frihamnen is really the place where you're free to do what you want. We think that we're in a culture where traditional planning is not anymore successful. We produce these areas that are so boring, and they are everywhere, in Malmö, in Stockholm, and soon in Göteborg, if you let some of us provide planning. So we really think this is a test ground where you do the city yourself. I mean, there is a lot of activities here already going on, and there is this rock spirit. And we think this rock spirit could really have this training place where different things happen. You see it? Okay. Different things happen, and it's a changeable platform. I mean, this place is never going to stay in a one way. So you can really do new structures, move them around, big festivals, etc. They move around. You use the water as a floating device for platforms for different things. And then the cable car. This was using Caracas to do something really nice, to take a neighborhood, connect the neighborhood to the center. I mean, this is really easy to do. You don't need milliards of infrastructure that some want to put in this project. You just need a cable and a small hanging thing on top of it. And then there's a boat. The boat is really good. It goes on water. They don't need any bridges. and there are some sun boats now. Am I right, Helmut? Yes. Okay. And this is what it could look like. If you understand anything out of this, you're really good. We don't do it. But I think it looks cool. So, this is our last slide. This is 2021. Something happened on the other side, and everybody wants to go there and not stay in the old city.
Thank you very much.
So you're not talking about refining them when it comes to densification, not areas with different characters, but sort of a mingle between the different workplaces, living, shops, etc. I don't know, The only group I think would be the construction companies. Because they
I
want
got a friend here, where are you, from Valentine? Did you like it or not? Good. Valentine is the biggest constructor here in Göteborg and in Stockholm, and he likes it. So. Next question.
some are more used to developing already existing areas than others.
No, but they do 1,000 new apartments a year. I don't think they're going to put it just in one.
He's really happy now that you're giving him all
I
this
hope so.
promotion. So, but the thing is, you're not that keen on connecting both sides then, are you?
But the connections are not in the roads, the connections are the people.
The connections people, okay.
Yeah. You don't need more roads, you have enough roads here. So thinking about these really big infrastructural knots and connections is a modernistic thing. I mean, cities have grown in much different ways. I mean, it's nobody, I mean, Rome is did it. I'm partly from Italy, so we know how to put a grid on a city. But I think it worked until the 50s. It doesn't work anymore. We're now in a connected network with the, I mean, Facebook created some revolutions in North Africa. We could maybe create some revolution even in planning systems in the Northern Europe. I don't know.
It's, yeah, so just, I mean, in the end, we also had, I think there were a lot of good ideas regarding connectivity from tube to cable cars. So in the end, what I think the difference, maybe because this would be the two extremes, is that one of the identities of the city, there are three driving forces. The people that are doers, they like to do things. Secondly, you have this river and the flooding, so it's constantly changing, and the weather, that's actually a problem, but also something nice. And third is actually all this event stuff, that you invent for your city as something new. So for me, the water is an event, so when the water floods, it's kind of cool. The transportation is an event, so you don't take a stupid tube where you need nice people to sit in it to make it interesting, but you take a cable car. It's windy, the cable car is going to shake you around there, or you vomit out of the cable car every time you go on it. So it's going to be an experience of its own. You have taxis, water taxis, that actually connect both sides of the city, and also you have, because this footprint idea actually also is a concept of growing. I think the city has to grow there where it already has infrastructure. And if you look at the map, that happens up the river. So the taxi can be the new transport along the river to connect all these new developments that are happening along the river. So it's practical, but it's also fun. For now, you have very practical, no fun. And if you have a
So you were talking about making, turning necessity into pleasure.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. And those floating bridges, or the props on bridges, are they doable?
Well, there are taxis.
The taxis?
No, I think
right?
you were mentioning platform
Yeah,
events.
yeah, the platform,
yeah. We can do it.
Yes, we have a German engineer in our team.
Oh, okay, respect.